So Salana has sent me something today. It's a long para. She has poured her heart into it. And so I wanted her to say, but maybe if she wants me to say, Om Arunachala, many silver moons ago, Yoganand was the one that entered into my room at 3 a.m. His presence was very loving and powerful. It blew this one out of physical body and up to the stars. Where he stood as bold as brass, he pointed out my ancient past. All those golden domes were ancient golden India. The incredible beauty of those buildings were magnificent. There's nothing like it here in this dream. And I'm pretty sure she's saying this life as dream. There the all had faith and trust in self, and all within the all manifested remarkable beauty. All thoughts were pure and stunning excellence. Truth and beauty was in balance till the fallen rebel arrived and offered power over other parts of self. Beauty receded from hearts, trust and faith in self got lost. Now all faces force the feelings of lost places in other times. Now the ancient offer of power over others is in full swing. Faithlessness, lies, ugliness, greed for material existence is evident. And like you mentioned, few have faith in self. Instead, they sight upon a conveyor belt be pulled along worthless objects and die. Truth is suppressed, lies want to live on in history. Faith in material is at its height and beauty is not considered. Thus, purity has been flushed away. Innocence and the experience of it is almost eroded away through disuse of it. However, till now, faith and returned in 79, promise of the prophecy, also written in Gita, Shiva sneak back, written upon Jagjit's legacy, King of Kings, Lord of Lords. This was the promise performed in our timeline. Her innocence was never lost. The Shiva chose her form. The golden age is now in open access and accessible. Shiva, mother of all mothers, is filling your heart. My heart is full of inner beauty, faith, and trust, as is yours. I witness the mother of all mothers within your core essence. She is mother to herself and all creation. She can embrace like no other can. It is the reason you have the urge to embrace other parts of yourself. Also, her mothering qualities is calling all to return. Ancient India golden energy, to lie there, to live there, breathe in its fragrance. And so you have heard your heart into the promise of golden age, heaved your heart into the promise of golden age, and now you are pour passion into the promise of it to give birth to the new era. New energy from within is freely given, and you hold your face to this remarkable rain. And may you know that you need not experience the older ignorance, the outer alienation ever again. Blessed are you who holds the truth in the palms of your hands. Your generosity, your purity deserves outer feedback from those who have the eyes to see. Thank you for all. Arunachala Om, love always. From Salana. So this is a beautiful poem she wrote from her heart. And thank you, Salana, to share with all of us. It's beautiful. It is very symbolic of what is being said about these times. These are very changing times, twilight zone in which Kali Yuga is going away and Sat Yuga is dawning. So this dawn of Sat Yuga and tail end of Kali Yuga, so there is a lot of upheaval is happening in the world and in people's mind, and changes happening. End result will be all good only, because this energy which is in all of us wants to express, and we are at the ebb, at the bottom of humanity, when it's all ugliness. From here it can only rise up. It has touched the rock bottom, and from here it can go only up. So this is what I feel, and I think eventually things have to improve. There is no other way. Sometimes people think this abiding in self is just a word, abide in self and keep doing what you're doing. It completely changes internally from where you operate. And actually you stop operating. And you start observing everything. Life becomes a darshan. You become a darshanik. You become a witness. And everything is just witnessing. If you take the definition of that ultimate reality, what is that ultimate reality? That doesn't participate in anything. That has no name. It has no form. And it is existence, consciousness, bliss. Bliss comes because it is only a witness. It only imparts energy to the bodies, to forms, to manifest, to act. But in itself, there is no movement, only stillness. Recognize this and be that is only, without attributes. Let attributes be there, the body, form, name, action, situation. We don't have to run away, we don't have to fight. We just have to abide in self as self. Here there is no movement. Here nothing is happening. Be in that nothingness. As nothingness. Today on an occasion, someone was talking about so many concepts. that there is an Ishvara, there is Bhagavan, there is Avatar, there is Atma, there is Paramatma. Atma cannot be Paramatma, Bhagavan cannot be Ishwar. So many concepts. I'm not sure from where all those concepts came, but our beloved Bhagavan has not given us any concept. Only self. No intermediary stages. Recognize the self within, and that's all. Nothing else. All these concepts He has left for us to know when we abide in self. It is like you haven't watched the movie and you keep asking questions about what character is doing what. Why don't you just watch it? You watch it and you know everything. You just watch it. Be the devotee of inner silence. Be the uninvolved witness to all what is happening around you and within you. Within is feeling and thoughts, and around is situation, people, objects. Accept whatever it is without attachment and see the magic that you are sucked into that pure energy. That energy makes you it. One can say, I was always that, but I was ignorant fool, staying in the lower dynamic energy of action as a doer, thinking I am limited by this body. And this body is sensitive, it has mind, it has emotions, feelings, and it is subjected to pain, it is subjected to birth and death. And so we are so fearful of death and suffering. But this was all an illusion. And this we only realize when the self pulls us, makes us realize what we are. I was talking yesterday to few people, including Salana, and it came to me that this whole life is like a conveyor belt. All forms are there doing their own dance in a way, and everything is just going to the finishing line, dropping dead. Everything. If you see in 100 years, no one who is right now alive is no more alive in that body form. Can we escape death? Can we be free of this cycle of birth and death? These are the most pertinent questions, and all answers comes in self-inquiry. That first thing first, if I am this body and I am going to die, then there is no question of mukti, liberation, or knowing truth. Because even if you know truth and you have to die with the body, then that knowledge is not going to save us. But this supreme knowledge not only helps us to get out from this coming death, but also makes us realize that I am unborn. Death never touches us. So you become fearless and you become free from the body while the body is alive. So when the death comes to the body, it has nothing to do with you. You, that nameless, formless awareness, it has nothing to do with you. But if we live in illusion, then definitely death has to do with us. Because the body is part of the word, it is born, it has to die. Talk to this body as a third person. Body is going. Body has been given name, you can call by that name. You are not that name. You are not the body. Though we all are using it, body has been given some task in this life which it is performing. Let it perform. At the same time, know who you are. Don't give up that. All the teachings and grace will take us to that where you understand theory, you know what to practice, and then you practice. Realizing self, abiding in self is a gradual process. Slowly and gradually we attain it. Once you know it, it takes time to stabilize also. It's not touch and go. No one has done like that. Buddha spent decades in it to be mature into it. Same is with Bhagavan, he got it instantaneously. But understanding and maturing and stabilizing in it takes time. I have never come across even one single human being who, after knowing the self, is busy in other crazy things in life. Sometimes their circumstances are like that they appear to be involved in things, but all of those are disinterested actions happening because of prarabdha karma, not touching a realized being at any time. Right now, in ego mode, we don't know what this energy is. What is this Brahman, Atman? Then it is only a concept for us. But the moment you dive deep and find it, then it is known everywhere. Because we are using this body, it is felt maximum. Maximum impact is in our heart, hridayam, in this body. It has the maximum force here. So when the jnani moves, even goes to a pilgrimage, he gives that energy rather than taking energy from there. While some new seekers and people who want some help or who are worldly people, when they go, they gain energy from there. They take away something from a pilgrimage, from a high energy center. But when a jnani goes, he imparts energy there. He has only to give. He is full of that infinite bliss. Wherever he or she goes, that energy just is released everywhere. So jnani has nothing to take from anyone for any reason. Even if he takes, it is to give back multiple times. You know the model of donation in ashrams and temples and churches. People give donation and it is always known that they give 10% and they get back 100% in other forms. Their business grows or whatever, they get more wealthier. Abide in the purest of pure energy, untouched, untainted. It wants you to detach from everything and abide here. When you detach, then you attach to this Atman. And this detachment from egoistic energy, lower level of energy to higher is only your own interest, creating an attention inward, which we call antarmukhi. You're looking within and you get absorbed in it. Once you know here, you know everywhere. Kan kan mein Bhagavan, God in each and every particle. Like born as Homo sapien, as human being, this species, we know how we are. So any part of the world, if there's a Homo sapien, we know how that will look, how many fingers, eyes, ears, what the body structure and whatever it is, we know it. Same is, we know that energy within us. We know it in every being, everything. Because it is same, it is only one. Know yourself and you know everything. I just saw this name Adi Shakti. I don't know whose name is Adi Shakti. But this energy is Adi Shakti. Eternal, unborn energy. Unchanging. Path of self-inquiry and knowing the self is the most direct path. We see so many religions, so many concepts, so many sects. And these concepts make it so hard. Some says there are 7 stages, some says 12 stages, some says 7 births, some says 21 births. How do you know which birth are you having right now? How many left? Bhagavan says there is only self. Find it and be free. Nothing else. And self is here right now. You don't have to wait for it. You don't have to gain some punya, some merits to know it. whatever you are, full of merits or demerits, it never looks like that. It never judges you. You want to know, it is also open. It accepts you as it is. And to tell you that all these things which you have put as your karma, you are not even there. Only in our illusion we think it is our karma. Where are these karmas played? On this body and mind, which is one structure, body-mind complex. If you are not body, you are not mind, then whatever the karmas and the fate of karma, who is bearing, who is suffering? This means you are always free. If you know who you are instantly free from all your karmas, all your past actions, and all fruits of actions also. Once you realize that you are that uninvolved witness to everything, then you are free from all the karmas and their fruits. You are liberated. The biggest challenge of these teachings, I would say, Robert, as you have written something, is that there is no power of intermediary. No one can claim that I can liberate you. No guru, no teacher, nothing. We all are our own guru. And we all are responsible for our own liberation. And it's our own grace on us. Direct path of self-inquiry liberates us not just from the ego, but also frees us from all the dogmas, concepts, and middlemen. So the case of guru, fake guru, all this disappears. Because the real guru is in all of us. Sometimes people ask me, explain a self-inquiry. I did 10 weeks of course on self-inquiry, and it was not any prepared. Whatever comes, whatever answer has to come, it was all spontaneous utterances. But I'll give you a very big secret about self-inquiry. If you intensely, in all honesty, ask this question, who am I, in your heart, you are asking this question to not a diplomatic person, ego, someone who is not trustworthy. You are asking this question to the Absolute. Absolute is free from all the illusions. Absolute is full of compassion. Absolute is unconditional love for everything, every being. When this question strikes your heart, it will never deceive you. It will pull you to the source and give you vision of that absolute itself. Because absolute knows that all of us are that only. It will never play trick with you. Tricks are played by ego, dirty politics, deceiving you. Absolute never deceives anyone. When we go back and surrender to the grace of Absolute, we ask this question, who am I? It will take us to the source. And this source is pure silence, full of bliss, ananda, and perfect stillness, unmoving. It will reveal you all the secret. It will not hide anything from you. And I'm reassuring you that this is truth. And this is certain. If you're asking Absolute, it will take you to the source. It will not give you an answer. It will take you there. Like you ask someone, where is Paris? And that person takes you to the Paris instantaneously. It is like that. He is full of infinite compassion. There is an institute, you really love that institute, you want to be part of that institute, and you go to that institute's CEO that, can you make me part of your institute? And he puts you directly as a CEO of the institute. He makes you himself you. You become devotee of Shiva, Shiva makes you Shiva. And we are not even prepared for that big post or that level of attainment. We are little people, little egos. We just want little bit of bliss, but when it gives so much, then only thing is we cannot even say thank you. There can only be tears of joy. How much thank you can say to the Absolute, who has given you now everything. He has opened that infinite bliss for you. And we were suffering, we were not happy, we had this restless mind, we had thoughts, and we wanted little bit of happiness, but he gave us everything. When he gives us everything, and so much so that we cannot contain, what would you do? You just share with everyone. because everyone is that only. Just share that energy. And we pray all religious people, all seekers, everyone who is interested, everyone should get it. Let everyone get blessed by it. You know, some realized beings, they just keep hugging people. Or they get into charity of anything comes. And in their charities, money pours and they keep giving to people back. They only have 2 pair of clothes. They just give it back. And some only sit in silence. And their giving is immense also. Giving is not just materialistic, but that love, that blessing, that peace emanating from those beings. I don't have answer why some are going into charity and some are meeting people and some just stay in a cave, but I have no doubt their giving is equal. You cannot compare. Don't read too many books and don't make concepts. You don't have to learn Sanskrit to know the self. Just be in it. Whatever language you speak, humbly ask Absolute to embrace you. Tell that Absolute, I don't know any method. I'm incapable of doing any method. You do self-inquiry for me. I am just at your doorstep. You just take me in. I don't want anything else. Just take me in. If you keep asking, keep knocking on the door, that Absolute, full of mercy, compassion, will embrace you and will make you one. Then you realize everyone was actually helping you. As a matter of fact, people who were jealous or who were criticizing you were helping you more than anyone else. They were keeping you grounded. They were dissolving your ego. Everyone was helping you. So we are thankful to every being, everything, every situation. All the obstacles were actually building blocks. Only by eye of wisdom we realize this truth. The Salana's beautiful poem, it starts with misery and suffering and how low we have come. And then it takes us back to that level of purity, of truth. of self-abidance. Hold on to the truth in your heart and sink with it deeper and deeper. So deep that you have no clue about anything of this world. Only thing you see is absolute all the time. All the time you see from eye of wisdom. These eyes which always discriminate, judge, analyze, criticize, like, dislike, loses their function in that sense. Now they just are neutral, impartial, seeing things as a video camera without any interpretation. If at all they interpret what the eye of wisdom is saying, that everything is Brahman, absolute, same, one, pure. So only love flows from you for everything. Irrespective whether someone likes you or dislikes you or indifferent, doesn't matter. Because you have risen from that ego level to just pure consciousness, for which everyone is part of you. Where the God and devil becomes one. Where the essence in every being is same. Knowing that pure energy, you become devotee of that pure energy more than anyone else. Being that, your contemplation on that is all the time. With the joy in your heart, you praise the Lord all the time. But His praise is your praise because there is no difference. All is one, same pure awareness. when we touch purity in our heart, then all impurities of the ego are burned away. That person which our near and dear ones wanted to fix, they were fed up of this person, that person goes away. In one stroke of that pure self. When the divine self manifests in us, then this ego ghost runs away with all its impurities. Now it's an empty house. As Kabir says, Prem gali ati sankri isme do na samaye. Love lane is too narrow. Two cannot survive in it, only one. Only love. We are that pure love. Thank you, everyone. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.